What brings you in here? Oh, those reports, I've got them for you right here. Give me just a second. I don't know what's going on here, how that got pulled up. Actually, how are you in my house? Hey guys, welcome back to Dwell Big. If you're anything like us, one, if not multiple people in your household may have found themselves in a partial or full-time telework over the course of the year of 2020. And for us, we actually both ended up in that, my wife and I. And we had a particular space in our house that was a little bit of a flex room. They technically called it a living room, but we already had a great room we were using for that. So this space was right off the front door, and it just had a big open entryway into it, roughly the size of a bedroom, a pretty standard bedroom. And I decided that I wanted to figure out how to make that work as a permanent office space for both my wife and I. So the very first step we did was framing in and adding a set of double full light French doors. And we did that mostly to kind of block it off from the rest of the house a little bit, make it feel more like a real legitimate office, but it also had a lot of major sound benefits, because this is right off of a two-story foyer, so the sound kind of just funneled right into this office, it seemed like. We have a child that's here during the day that's taken care of, and we just needed to figure out how to reduce that noise as much as possible. And those doors definitely fit the bill and also look phenomenally well, and really just help separate it and make it feel like a legitimate office. So that was kind of the first order of business. The second order of business was designing this desk that I'm in front of right now. And we needed to design it to be a two-person desk, and again, you're in a relatively small room, about a bedroom size room, so we needed room for both of us to be able to maneuver around, have plenty of ample desk space, and to have a usable, functional workstation. And I think with this design, we pretty well hit the nail on the head with what we were trying to accomplish. Now, the concepts presented, you can easily take and make a three-person setup, or you can make a one-person setup out of this. It's just, I only want to show you today some thoughts of how you can possibly make this work in your own home. If you happen to have a spare bedroom, a flex type of space of your own, really any place that you think you might be able to turn into an office, I just want to present some ideas on how to do so. So the next thing we did, we went a little bit above and beyond. We could have simply just done doors and just done a desk, but I also wanted this to be a nice looking space. So we did crown molding, we did board and batten, we also trimmed and cased the windows, because from our builder they were just the drywall edged windows, so trimmed and cased those. And then above this desk did a custom built bookcase that has a cabinet in the middle. And then the corners of this desk is basically two filing cabinets that I purchased that fit the correct dimensions I was looking for, and they act as the support for the two corners, and then they also act as either filing cabinets or drawers to keep our office type of supplies in. Additionally, we did painting, and then I had to put some crown on the outside of the office due to where I had cut into the ceiling to frame up to put these doors in, and I'll showcase all of that. Some pros and cons to this setup. Really the only con so far is just some finishing touches I should have been a little bit more careful with. We were kind of in a rush to do this. We were in alternative working situations, and I knocked this entire thing out in 1 month. By the end of it, I got a little bit sloppy with some of the very finishing details. Nothing big that can't be retouched up whenever I get around to it. But so far, maybe the finish that we used on this desk surface, these are butcher block pieces, and I'll have a full write-up of everything we used, everything we did. I also custom built the cabinet that's at the end of this island that the desk actually sits on. It's the end support for the desk, or for the butcher block top, and it's just a two-shelf bookshelf, which I think turned out very nice and works really well. But you know, otherwise I think we're phenomenally happy with how everything turned out. We both have a very functional, neatly organized workstation. There's a centrally located printer. I ran power into the wall for each of the workstation. That goes down below and is tied into a surge protector. There's also grommets for pass-throughs, and just try to do everything to make it as clean, as functional, and as easy to keep organized as physically possible. And I think we pretty well hit all of those areas pretty strongly. We painted it a good color we wanted. I think overall I am super pleased with how it turned out. We also put a nice lighting fixture in. We already had the can lights in here, but having the two really are pretty nice. It's not much more we can ask for, but I just wanted to show you guys so you could simply get to thinking a little bit, because that's what I did when building this. I didn't completely just set up from scratch. I started looking around, like, has anybody done a his and hers type of office? And this has turned out like nothing you actually see out there, but I took all these little pieces from a single office to a double office, and took the room dimensions, started kind of engineering and designing what would work best for us. And I will certainly be willing and more than happy to do a more detailed video on any of this. I think I am going to do a more detailed video on the doors. I'm not really going to mess with that or count that in this video, but I will show how we took what was just a pure drywall opening and cut into it, framed it for the door, got the door installed, trimmed around it, did the drywall, the whole 9 yards. I think I might do a separate video on that. I will certainly be willing to explain in more depth and detail how I did any of the pieces for the desk, for the book casing above it, for the board and batten, the crown, the trim, the casing, any of the individual pieces that went into this. I will be more than willing to dive deeper into that and do a video if any of you are interested in seeing any of that. But for now, thank you. Remember, dwell big wherever you are, and please consider liking, subscribing, etc. Thank you guys.